Grief, by definition, is a deep sorrow or emotional suffering experienced after a significant loss. So what happens when your body no longer works the way it used to? How do you grieve that loss? Well, Charleston author, disability advocate, and chronic illness warrior Jayne Mattingly is answering that powerful question in her debut memoir, This is Body Grief, and she joins us now. Good to have you back with us.
Yes, thanks for having me.
And with your friend Weedy here.
Yes.
What a sweetheart. So he's a big help to you.
Yes, he's awesome.
That's wonderful.
He's the best.
It's been several years since the last time you and I spoke, and you've been up to a lot since that time. But why don't you help our audience understand your journey through this process?
Yeah.
So where did it all begin?
My goodness. So about 7 years ago, almost to like the month, I found myself graduating with my master's in clinical mental health counseling. I had kind of turned my problem into my purpose. I had successfully recovered from my eating disorder that started at the young age of 9.
Oh, wow.
And it went really undiagnosed, dismissed, which was very common at that time. And I had very little barriers to care. And so in my early 20s, I recovered quite quickly and promptly, as I was like a perfectionist. I was like, I want to go and get my master's in clinical mental health counseling and help people in their eating disorders and body image. I specialized in grief as well. And I was in a bar class, and I was also like doing these events. I had a business helping people really heal their relationship with their body. And I was in a bar class, and I was tucking my little heart away, as you do, and I was doing events where I had these sentiments where I was saying, don't work out for what your body looks like, love your body and work out for your body for what it can do.
Oh, interesting.
Right.
Okay.
And at that time, that was kind of like a radical statement.
Right, I was going to say.
But little did I know how ableist that was. And again, 7 years ago, I lost my sight in a bar class. It just went.
Really?
And I was diagnosed.
That was so frightening.
It was terrifying. It was terrifying. I was quote unquote healthy, non-disabled. I thought everything was fine. I thought I had done my one hard thing with my eating disorder recovery.
Right.
And
We
just
all
like
think that,
I was good, right?
Yeah.
And I was diagnosed with a rare neurological disorder called intracranial hypertension, and I had my first brain surgery out of 19 brain and spine surgeries in the last 7 years.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Yes, and
life-altering.
Life-altering. I mean, my life truly flashed before my eyes, and now I'm a wheelchair user with service dog, and I realized as I was laying in the hospital, well, what now that my body can't do? How am I supposed to love myself? Like, where's my worth?
Was it gradual, or was it immediate that you went from being this healthy person to...
It was quite immediate.
It was.
It really was.
Gosh.
And then
You're getting used to it.
No, I fought it for a while though,
Yeah.
which is where the body grief is. I think a lot of us, and that's a phase within body grief, where we, it's not this thing where we all of a sudden accept, like, okay, this is my life. And I think that's what it is. And I started to study body grief. And body grief isn't just about disability. It's not just about eating disorders or body image. All of us experience it. It's universal. If you have a body, you grieve. It's puberty, it's menopause, it's it's aging, it's postpartum, it's having a baby. Yeah, it's miscarriage, it's everything we experience. And so I started to study it.
How is that grief, though, different from, say, the physical and permanent loss of a person, let's say?
Yes. Well,
because you still have to wake up with it.
You have to wake up with it, and you have to live in your body.
Yeah.
Constantly, every day. And so that's where it's kind of like that sentiment of me being like, love your body for what you can do. And it's like, but your body eventually stops doing. And so this idea that we talk about with like body positivity and body neutrality and body acceptance, those types of things can kind of sometimes make people, those buzzwords can make people feel less than, especially when you're in a minority group. When it's like, oh my gosh, there's these systems of oppression that are taking away our bodily autonomy constantly.
Right.
And so what if instead we worked on healing our body grief?
So this gave you a level of empathy that you weren't expecting.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Looking at my privilege.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And so that teaches us, and in those pages, for us, would you recommend that just regular,
Anybody.
average people, able-bodied people read this?
Anybody. I mean, it's for literally as anyone with a body.
Yeah, right, yeah. So, but also to have a better understanding and empathy towards others without judgment.
Absolutely.
Well, we need to take a break here, but when we come back, I want to further talk about the work that you put into this book, also some of the other outlets that you have going on. So I'm very excited to share that with the audience. So we'll do that in 2 minutes. Don't go anywhere. We are back with author Jayne Mattingly about her new debut memoir, This is Body Grief. And we were just talking about how this has really taught you a level of empathy that you came to earn, let's just say. and that's something that the rest of us should open our eyes to as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So share a little bit more about, some of the chapters in here and what people should recognize.
Yeah, and This is Body Grief, it's about a healing journey and how there's no really destination to it. I think we all want to be grieved, which makes sense. I think in this world, it's just like I think there's this empathy deficit right now because we're just like, we are so bogged down by sadness. And so we talk about like little baby steps into grief. And I recognize and studied grief heavily and body grief heavily through people's experiences of all walks of life. And there's 7 phases of body grief. And they're multi-cyclical, non-linear. You can be in multiple phases at different times.
Non-linear,
Yes, and it's not new. I didn't create these phases. I studied them, and it's like, you've been in these before, and here's ways in which we can cope maybe a little bit more adaptively.
Yeah.
Let's like maybe, it's not avoiding harm. Let's like reduce the harm a little bit.
Yeah, and you raise an interesting point because we lose our sense of purpose in the world as well.
Yeah.
I mean, we're so focused on ourselves and our feelings, which it's easy to do, and sometimes you kind of have to, but you also need to emerge from that and to find a purpose, and little did you realize how your purpose was completely shifting.
Yes.
And this has now gone into the world of advocacy, and so you are now hyper focused and vigilant about getting things changed. So share with everybody what you've done thus far to try to make just the world we live in more accessible, for instance.
I'm just kind of one of those people that like radically accepts. And when I radically accept, I tend to like get loud. I tend to like really get loud and hopefully make change. The disabled population is the one minority population that everyone is going to be a part of at some point, and that's not a suggestion, that is just reality. Because we all age, hopefully, that's a privilege, right?
Yes, exactly.
Or we're gonna have an accident at some point in our lives. And so like really kind of opening people's eyes to that instead of, and saying like, hey, like this is a beautiful community to be a part of. Let's hopefully make things a little bit more accessible, whether that be like, adding a ramp or, maybe just like having a little bit of empathy, or not voting away our rights.
Right. Are you finding that to be a challenge here?
Yeah, it's exhausting and hard. It's Disability Pride Month in July, and there's no flags being waved.
Right.
It's hard because the disabled community is like loud and proud.
Right, yeah, as they should be. And we hear the term DEI, diversity, equity,
and
inclusion.
there's no A.
There's no A.
Yeah.
But you've added the A. Yeah. Accessibility.
Yes.
And that's a huge part of it.
Yeah.
So with just a couple of minutes left, through this whole experience, you've done so much work on behalf of yourself, on behalf of the rest of the community. But you also have to give back to yourself in other ways.
Yeah.
So how have you done that?
It's hard because sometimes I'm always like, what's the purpose? What's the purpose?
Yeah.
And I find myself sometimes like always turning something into a purpose, which I'm trying not to do as much, but playing is a huge thing. And paint has been huge for me. I just started this new series called Dying for Art. which has been so therapeutic for me. And it's where I've thrown body grief from my soul onto a canvas. And I've just entered palliative care, and it's been really heavy. And Weedy is saying it's heavy too. He just groaned.
He heard that. He felt it.
He felt it. And so it's really just like the brightness and the colors and the heaviness and the texture. And it has been so therapeutic for me, so therapeutic for my community. And I've just never, like, I'm in a lot of pain, and when I'm in pain, I paint. And
does it help you separate yourself from
it's
the
like
pain?
I'm like kind of floating above whatever it is. And I'm able to just create in a way that's messy. And I love it.
Yes, and beautiful too. And speaks to people. Which I think is wonderful. Well, Jayne, you are a force to be reckoned with, truly.
Thank you.
I want to thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story with us.
Thank you.
Where can people find this book?
You can go to my website, JayneMattingly.com, or anywhere books are sold.
Okay,
Yes.
and I urge people to follow you as well.
Yes.
Because you put yourself out there, you put yourself out on social media for people to understand, to have that intimate understanding and connection, which I think we all need to do. So thank you so much for being that person.
Thank you, I appreciate
Great to have you with us.
Thanks.
We'll be back after this.